now. Dan Gainor from the Media Research Center. Hi, Dan.
Hey.
All right, so CNN is telling us, people just started gathering in the streets, that this came out of nowhere. What's the truth?
Well, the truth is the left has been rioting, burning, vandalizing, attacking people for years. This is not new. Occupy Wall Street, 7,700 arrests for everything from violence to arson to creating chaos. Then you've had Black Lives Matter, Ferguson, hands up, don't shoot. They've been doing this for years, and the media treat it like it's no thing. They downplay it. They don't want to talk about the bad. Then they try to portray Trump supporters as violent, even when they're the victims of attack.
So double standard, yet again.
Or it's the one standard. Everything the left does is great. Everything the right does is wrong.
I'm amazed at this whole process, how the media has just gone on this attack. And you know what, Dan? People see through it. People like the folks in Ohio, the ones that just lost their jobs that Capri Kapar was telling us about, they see through it. And, for whatever reason, the media, they fuel this kind of anarchy while simultaneously leaving the rest of America completely out. Why do you think that is?
Well, because they are just as angry as the protesters. This is a national
and they're using their
temper
pens
tantrum.
And their computers.
Right. This is a national temper tantrum. The digital way of doing it is to cover it, to write about it, to tweet about it. And that's what journalists are doing. They're promoting this with stuff by promoting the stories of not my president, the stories about, oh, well, Trump only won the Electoral College. He's the 5th president to win the Electoral College only. And that's still a little unclear whether he will be or not.
You know what, Dan, I think also contributes to this, because I've spent a lot of time scratching my head saying, how is it that my colleagues, on the other side of town, are so out of touch with how people really feel and what's going on out there? And I think part of it is the loss of local media. I mean, you think about newspapers all over the country, and they used to have a morning edition, they had an afternoon edition, and employed a lot of people from the town. And people thus read news that was relevant to them. Now, all of a sudden, you've got an environment where that's all outsourced effectively to New York. And so reporters that are in the middle of Manhattan that have their own view are basically feeding that out as opposed to it coming from the ground up. You agree?
Yeah, but even then, some of that's true. But even then, they were left-wing. And you look at what the media cherry-pick. There was a confrontation with a local reporter last night here during the protests in Baltimore. And it got ugly, and it was clear that the photographer started to feel like he was under threat. There were lots of cursing. The media decided they're going to make a big deal about that when it's right-wingers confronting CNN people. But when it's left-wing protesters
somehow they understand it. Oh, well, can you blame them, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, a double standard indeed. Dan Gainor, thank you so much. Donald Trump, everyone.